What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Over the years, even before I joined YouTube, just based on my own personal life and experience and being around and different things like that, I have helped quite a few people who have gone through some serious relationship woes, especially one of the spouses cheating on another, whether it be a female cheating on her husband or a man cheating on his wife. A lot of people have come to me, I would say, over the last 10 or 15 years and sought my advice. I've been through those situations in my own marriage. I've kind of alluded to it without saying too much because I try not to speak too much on things unless the other person has a chance to speak their piece. But when I was married, I was not a perfect man, and in many situations, I didn't even try to be. That's just the way some things can go. You read into that what you will. But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about people. So because of the kind of insight that I was able to give people, I was able to help a lot of people. And I said that to say this. I was thinking a lot of times when women are cheated on, they have asked me, and even in emails, they have said to me, how can he say he loves me while sleeping with another woman? How can he justify that? Is this true? Is this possible? I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's going to have a different viewpoint on that subject. Some people's going to say automatically there's no way. Some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to feel like I'm not sure because they've been there before. So there's obviously you're gonna get 1,000. You ask 1,000 people, you're probably gonna get 800 different answers. But let me say this: when you're dealing with a cheating spouse, and they're not evil, let's put it that way. They're not an evil person. For the most part, they would be considered. So I'm not talking about just some loser, some bum, so some hoe or something like that. I'm talking about you're dealing with pretty good people. One of the things that they have to do is they have to separate the act from the respect. In other words, many people who cheat have to mentally split it up into what I'm going to call two categories. Okay? You have the secret, which is it must be hidden. That's the affair. That's the other extracurricular activities that you're involved in that you know you have no business, but it's a secret. So and you remember, you're splitting this in your mind to be able to get away with this. You have the secret, which is something that you have to hide, and then you have your marriage or your relationship, and that's pretty much how you treat your spouse day to day. So you have two things. You have the secret, now separate it. So don't try to combine the two. You have the secret, which is something they must hide, and then they have the relationship, which is the marriage or how they treat their spouse day to day. This is why some men, and this goes for women too. I mean, it's coming from a male's point of view on this, but trust me, it goes both ways. This is why a man can still pay the bills day to day, still show affection. A woman can show affection, still say I love you. All these things do not feel like they're lying, and the whole convincing themselves that they're a great wife or husband. Truthfully, when they say I love you, and they know that and again, I'm talking about some people, not everybody. I'm just giving you examples from what I have experienced and people around me. When they say I love you, they truthfully feel that they are a great spouse, a great wife, or a great husband. All the while, they could be stepping out because they're going to compartmentalize the situation. And once you compartmentalize, which is to have a secret here and the relationship here, and remember, it's in a compartment. So don't try to, I think what throws a lot of people off, and again, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just explaining how the mind will do it. You try to mesh both of them together and then it gets real confused. People that cheat in marriages and they have affairs, the way that they're able to do it and soothe their conscience is they have to compartmentalize. They have the affair or the secret, and then they have the relationship. Once they compartmentalize, that's what allows them to have two conflicting things going on at the same time within them. That's why they can say, I love you, but have the secret. See? Because they compartmentalize. That's why I'm not saying this is right, y'all. So just work with me here. There's two things going on that they have to split in their mind. They call it compartmentalization. The secret, the affair. The man, the woman, the extracurricular activities. That's a secret. They have to hide that. Everything else outside of that in the marriage and the relationship, they separate that. So everything that they do in order to have a great relationship, they feel that that is true and honest and genuine and real. So they can say, I love you. They can show affection. They can pay the bills. They can provide. They can do all of the things that they normally do and don't feel the guilt. Because by compartmentalizing the situation, it's going to allow the two conflicting things to coexist inside of them at the same time without guilt. To me, unless that person is just evil or whatever you want to call it, that's how they're able to do it. That's number one. Number two, some people define respect differently. So, for instance, a man may say, well, I don't talk down to my wife. So as long as he don't talk down to his wife, and remember, everything's gonna point back to what I said. So in the compartments, right? He's gonna say, "Well, I never talk down to my wife, so I'm not disrespecting her because remember, she's on the relationship in the relationship box." So on that side, he doesn't talk down to her. He doesn't embarrass her publicly. He doesn't disrespect her in any way publicly. He continues to provide. He continues to protect. He feels that he is not disrespecting his wife because remember, the secret is on the other side. So on this side, hey, I put gas in her car. Hey, I take her to work. I give her money for her hair, her nails, her toes. I massage her scalp. I scrape up her dandruff. I put a cold rag on her head when she got a headache. I cook when she don't feel like cooking. All these things. He feel like he's a great husband. And then remember, what women do the same thing on the other side. The reasons might be different, but they do the same thing. So they may define respect differently. They're not gonna see necessarily they're cheating as being disrespectful because they have separated the two. So as long as they're doing their role on the relationship side, they don't have to feel the guilt. Their compass, their moral compass inside of them is more lean towards tone and behavior. How I treat him or her, how I speak to him or her, tone and behavior, not integrity, not loyalty. See, these are things that you got to find out. They may never yell at you because to yell for some men to yell at a woman would be disrespecting a woman. So some men may say, I never yelled at my woman because that would be disrespectful. But then he'll go throttle out another woman and have no guilt about it. He will feel bad if he yelled at his wife because a man not supposed to yell at a woman. But that same man will feel no guilt busting the guts of a woman that was not his wife. It's how you see respect. For them, tone, behavior, they will never hit a woman. Tone and behavior means more to them than loyalty and integrity. Pay attention to that. Number three, this is another big one. In order to disrespect, it requires you to have empathy to that person. Now, watch this. Empathy is being able to feel or even put yourself in that person's position, which would cause you not to do something because you would not want that done to you. Okay, you with me? To disrespect, to understand disrespect, you have to understand empathy. No one you know who has ever cheated on their spouse, y'all talk back to me, has sat down and in their mind, let's say a man was going to go cheat on his wife tonight and he was going to tear that new woman up. He didn't sit down in his mind and say to himself, how would I feel if while I was gone, another man came into my house, put my wife on my bed, and lifted her legs up in the air and enjoyed the peach? Remember James and the Giant Peach from elementary school? That giant peach. Maybe it's not giant. Y'all chill out. I don't know. I ain't the one in your room, bro. I'm James and the Giant Peach. Keeping it G for y'all. You say, Professor X, my wife Peach ain't giant. Whatever. Change it. James and the Tiny Peach. You with me? Don't get caught up in little kid stuff. Just focus on the Peach. How would you feel if while you out throttling this one, a man got yours in wishbone enjoying her Peach? No man sit down and think about that. You know why? Because cheating kills empathy. And it requires empathy for you to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and say, how would I feel if they did that to me? That's why, truthfully, a lot of men don't ever get it until the wife is crying and she's saying, how could you? What if I would have done it? And then I need to go out and get me somebody. And then in that moment, a man will say, well, yeah, I guess, but then something, you better not. Yeah, because we see it at that moment. Then we see Charlie Brown gonna tear her up. But in that moment of selfishness, right? Because ultimately that's what cheating becomes, whether you rationalize it or not. Women may do it too. They not a woman may say, well, my husband not beating it up right, the way I like it. I done told him what to do. He still won't do it the way I like it. I'm tired of telling him I ain't getting no younger. I had a right to go get me some. So she may justify and rationalize why she can go get her some side sauce. Women do the same thing. I say it all the time. If men cheat all the time, unless they sleep with other men, they sleeping with women. So women are just as guilty. I don't do the back and forth. Men, women, everybody's at equal pace. And if you ask me, there's more women than men, so more women cheat than men. That's what I'm gonna just say, just off the top of my head. I ain't getting into it too deep. And if you the is or you ain't. But cheating kills empathy. And if you don't have empathy, then you don't have the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So I just want to throw that out there and try to help some people. Again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong or anything like that, but I just want to throw it out there because it is, if you do it, and those that have done it and you regret it, or maybe you didn't regret it, and maybe it was just something you was going through and you needed at the time, you'll understand what I'm talking about. That you have to separate that stuff in your head, and this is how it becomes possible. This is how you're able to come home and maneuver through life until Once it's exposed, then you feel the weight of what you've done. Especially as a man, you see the tears coming down. You know she been loyal. You feel she been loyal. She's sitting there, she crying. She asking, "How could you? You did this. You hurt me. You did that. What if I did that to you?" And then you really sit back and think about it. And even a woman, if she going out, going out, and then she doing whatever she want to do. Do she ever sit down and say, "What if? How would I feel if my husband went out and did?" So again, it requires empathy to not disrespect somebody, and cheating kills the empathy, and this is why these things are done. So they compartmentalize, and they're going to define respect differently, and empathy, which is what's required to not do it, goes out the window the moment that you do it. Hopefully y'all got it. Goodbye.